Jnana Yoga. Spiritual development is a deeply individual process, and it can unfold differently for everyone. There are many views on what this path might be. There are many guides with instructions on how to follow one path or another. However, in all traditions and spiritual teachings, some commonality of methods and practices can be traced. The Bhagavad Gita, a sacred Hindu scripture, presents a brief description of various paths of spiritual realization. Researchers of the Bhagavad Gita most often identify three primary paths: Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action; Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion; and Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge. It is believed that the fourth path of Raja Yoga is not explicitly emphasized in the Bhagavad Gita, but the ancient sage Patanjali, in the Yoga Sutras, expounded his profound vision of Raja Yoga and provided a detailed guide to it. The most generally accepted view on the paths of yoga today is the four paths of yoga: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is the path of meditation and self-control. Karma Yoga is serving others without expecting rewards. Jnana Yoga is the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. Bhakti Yoga is devotional service to God. While these paths are typically considered within the framework of yoga practices and primarily rely on the texts of Samkhya or Vedanta philosophy, in principle, this classification may well be applicable to other existing spiritual traditions and practices. Essentially, spiritual development and connection with the divine in yoga is achieved in the same way as in all other traditions, in various ways: service and worship of God, study of sacred texts, selfless service to others, asceticism, prayers, mantras, contemplative practices, and various forms of meditation. This emphasizes the commonality of spiritual principles inherent in all traditions, regardless of external attributes or differences in terminology. Each person can choose his own individual path depending on personal preferences or character traits, but nevertheless, the most effective will be the combination of the practices of Raja, Karma, Bhakti, and Jnana Yoga. However, in our study today we will pay special attention to the practice of Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is a spiritual path, the acquisition of knowledge and wisdom, is a discipline aimed at gaining a profound understanding of the true nature of reality through yogic practices such as meditation, self-inquiry, and contemplation. The term Jnana is Sanskrit itself, translates to knowledge. The main task of Jnana Yoga is the development of absolute consciousness, which involves a comprehensive approach to self-study, svadhyaya. Jnana Yoga directs its practitioners to employ the mind as a tool for exploring its own nature and rising above the identification with thoughts and ego. In essence, Jnana Yoga provides a systematic and disciplined approach to acquiring wisdom and transcending the limitations imposed by the mind. The various practices of Jnana Yoga serves to dismantle the veils of illusion created by individual concepts, worldviews, and perceptions. Practitioners aim to realize the transient and illusionary nature of perceived reality, Maya, and ultimately achieve a profound connection with the universal consciousness. Liberation from Maya is sought in order to attain union between the inner self, Atman, and the universal oneness of all life, Brahman. This journey of transformation is facilitated by special techniques of self-questioning and self-reflection, which are outlined in the 4 pillars of knowledge, Sadhana Chatushtaya. Sadhana Chatushtaya, or the Fourfold Qualifications, is a concept in Vedanta, a school of Hindu philosophy. These qualifications are considered prerequisites for an individual seeking self-realization and success in spiritual practices. The fourfold qualifications are traditionally outlined in texts such as the Vedanta Sara and are crucial elements in the path of Jnana Yoga. Viveka, discrimination. Viveka refers to the ability to discriminate between the eternal and the non-eternal, the permanent and the impermanent. It involves discerning the difference between the unchanging reality, Brahman, and the ever-changing transient world, Maya. Viveka helps individuals prioritize the pursuit of spiritual knowledge over worldly attachments. The practice of Viveka encourages individuals to question the nature of reality and recognize the transient, fleeting nature of the material world. Viveka plays a transformative role in guiding individuals away from being overly attached to worldly pursuits and material possessions. It helps prioritize the pursuit of spiritual knowledge, self-realization, and the understanding of universal truths over the transient and often illusory attractions of the external world. The practice of Neti is a central aspect of Jnana Yoga, particularly within the Advaita Vedanta tradition. Neti is a Sanskrit expression that translates to not this in English. This practice involves a method of negation, guiding practitioners to discern the ultimate reality by negating what it is not. In the practice of Neti, individuals contemplate the nature of reality by negating attributes that are impermanent, changing, or subject to the limitations of time and space. This process involves intellectually and experientially recognizing that the ultimate truth is beyond the realm of attributes. Neti is not limited to verbal or conceptual negations. It extends to direct experiential understanding through contemplation and meditation. The aim is to go beyond the ordinary understanding of reality and arrive at a direct, non-conceptual realization. In Advaita Vedanta, the practice of Neti is associated with the realization of Brahman, the ultimate, formless, and unchanging reality that transcends any attributes. It suggests that Brahman cannot be defined or limited by any specific qualities or characteristics. Vairagya, dispassion. This is the second quality of Sadhana Chatushtaya. Vairagya is the quality of dispassion or detachment from worldly pursuits and pleasures. It involves developing a sense of non-attachment to material possessions, relationships, and sensory enjoyments. Vairagya is crucial for maintaining focus on spiritual practices without being overly entangled in the distractions of the material world. Shatsampatti, Sixfold virtues. This is the third quality of Sadhana Chatushtaya. Shatsampatti consists of a set of 6 virtues that contribute to the internal purification of an individual. These virtues are Shama, control of the mind, calming the mind and maintaining mental tranquility; Dhamma, control of the senses, exercising restraint over the senses and their desires; Uparati, renunciation of activities, withdrawal from unnecessary worldly activities; Titiksha, endurance or forbearance, developing patience and resilience in the face of challenges; Shraddha, faith, having unwavering faith in the teachings of the scriptures and the guidance of the Guru; Samadhana, concentration, cultivating a focused and concentrated mind; Mumukshutva, desire for liberation. This is the fourth quality of Sadhana Chatushtaya. Mumukshutva is the intense longing for liberation or moksha. It is a burning desire to break free from the cycle of birth and death and attain union with the ultimate reality, Brahman. This deep yearning propels individuals on the spiritual path and fuels their commitment to self-realization. These fourfold qualifications are considered fundamental in Vedanta and Jnana Yoga, as they lay the groundwork for sincere and effective spiritual practice. They provide a framework for individuals to cultivate the right mindset, virtues, and motivations, essential for the pursuit of knowledge and the realization of one's true nature. Understanding the intellectual approach of Jnana Yoga can pose a challenge. On this path, there is a risk of overemphasizing intellectual achievements, and it is crucial to cultivate humility and compassion. It is effortless to become ensnared in the constructs of the mind, potentially diverting attention from the core objective of Jnana Yoga, recognizing the divine oneness. By understanding and applying the fourfold qualifications in their lives, practitioners begin the three main practices of Jnana Yoga: Sravana, hearing; Manana, reflection; and Nididhyasana, meditation. These practices have been laid down in the Upanishads. These three sequential stages are crucial components of the pursuit of knowledge and direct self-realization, Atma Sakshatkara. Sravana translates to hearing or listening in Sanskrit. This first stage involves actively listening to the teachings of a qualified teacher or scripture, particularly those related to the nature of Brahman, ultimate reality, and Atman, individual self. It's about gaining a clear understanding of the fundamental concepts and principles of Vedanta. Manana means contemplation or reflection. After acquiring knowledge through Sravana, the next step is to reflect deeply on the teachings. This stage involves contemplating the meaning of what has been heard, resolving doubts, and ensuring a clear and coherent understanding of the concepts. Manana allows for a more profound assimilation of knowledge through introspective thought. Nididhyasana is often translated as meditation or profound contemplation. This final stage involves the application of the knowledge gained in Sravana and clarified through Manana. Nididhyasana is a deep, contemplative meditation on the truth realized. Practitioners focus on internalizing the knowledge to the point where it becomes reality, transcending mere intellectual understanding. This stage aims at the direct realization of one's true nature beyond the limitations of the mind and intellect. Unlike Sravana, hearing, listening to spiritual teachings, and Manana, reflecting on the teachings, Nididhyasana emphasizes direct experience. It involves integrating the knowledge gained through study and reflection into one's own direct, immediate awareness. The primary focus of Nididhyasana is contemplation on the nature of the self, Atma. Practitioners engage in sustained meditation to realize the unchanging, eternal aspect of their being beyond the fluctuations of the mind and body. Nididhyasana involves contemplation on the Mahavakyas, which are the great statements found in the Upanishads. These statements encapsulate the core teachings of non-duality, Advaita, and emphasize the identity of the individual self, Atman, with the ultimate reality, Brahman. Among the Mahavakyas, the statement Tat Tvam Asi, or that art thu, is particularly significant. This statement encapsulates the essence of non-dual realization, emphasizing the identity of the individual self with the supreme reality. These three stages, Sravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana, are considered integral components of Vedantic and Jnana Yoga study, emphasizing a systematic and experiential approach to self-realization. They provide a structured framework for individuals to progress from hearing and understanding spiritual teachings to profound contemplation and, ultimately, direct realization of the transcendental truth. The 7 stages of Jnana Yoga, often referred to as Jnana Bhumikas, outline the progressive levels of spiritual understanding and realization in the practice of Jnana Yoga. These stages represent the gradual unfoldment of wisdom and self-realization as one advances on the path of knowledge. Subheccha, desire for enlightenment. This stage marks the initial longing for spiritual knowledge. It's the recognition that there is a higher truth beyond the material world, prompting the individual to seek wisdom and understanding. Subheccha implies deep study of Vedic sastras and association with the wise and the performance of virtuous actions without any expectation of fruits. Vicharana, inquiry or reflection. Building on the desire for knowledge, Vicharana involves sustained inquiry and reflection on the nature of reality. The practitioner begins to question and analyze the world, seeking to understand the deeper meaning of existence. Tanumanasa, thinness of mind. At this stage, the mind becomes subtle and refined through continued contemplation and introspection. The practitioner develops a focused and contemplative mind capable of delving deeper into the layers of thought and understanding. Sattvapatti, attainment of purity. Sattvapatti marks the stage of pure understanding. The practitioner gains a profound clarity of knowledge and transcends the influence of impurities in the mind. There is a deep sense of inner peace and detachment from the material world. Asamsakti, non-attachment. In this stage, the practitioner achieves a state of non-attachment to the material world. There is a recognition that the true self is beyond the transient nature of the external reality. The mind becomes increasingly focused on the ultimate truth. Padartha Bhavana, realization of truth. Padartha Bhavana is the direct realization of the ultimate truth. The practitioner experiences the oneness of the self with the universal reality, Brahman. There is a profound understanding that all distinctions and dualities are illusory. Turiya or Turiyatita, transcendence. Turiya is the highest stage of Jnana Yoga, representing transcendence. The practitioner attains a state of absolute awareness and moksha, liberation, enlightenment. It is a state of non-dual consciousness where the individual self merges with the universal consciousness. These 7 stages of Jnana Yoga offer a systematic and progressive path towards self-realization and ultimate wisdom, guiding practitioners from the initial desire for knowledge to the state of transcendence and direct realization of the divine truth. Whether it's the introspective focus of meditation, the selfless service to others, the pursuit of knowledge or devotion, the transformative potential of yoga lies in the commitment to the chosen path. The diversity of ways may vary, but the common thread is the faithful dedication to the chosen path, leading to the ultimate destination of self-realization and union with the divine.